In 1999, we had a big event, and David Miscavige said, the internet is really getting big, and we are going to get on the internet. So we've got computers all around here, and all you guys got in because you're big success stories, so I want you to go sit down at a computer, write up your success story. We all did. Put these little links on them, which we didn't know what the internet was really then. They put all their links, Narcanon, Crimenon, Way to Happiness, you know, all their links to their stuff, right? And then they gave you a disk, and they said, now go, I want you to go home and put this on your computer. And you're like, why? I mean, we didn't know anything about the computer, really. And they said, because don't you think your story's important? And most people, you do think your own personal story is pretty important. And you think, yeah. And they say, well, so will other people, and they're going to want to contact you. Well, what I didn't know is when you put that disk in your computer, it just totally stops any criticism of Scientology. Any critical thinking about Scientology, gone. You can only see piece of blue sky. Which, speaking of a piece of blue sky, that's a great book for anybody to read if you want to find out the actual other side of Scientology. It's by John Atack. It's an excellent book, and Madman or Messiah by Ben Corden. Okay, so my friend comes over and he goes, I have to take something off your computer. Now, I don't know about that. They called it the net nanny, but I didn't know about it at the time. And I said, I just bought my computer. What do you have to take off of my computer? And he explains this net nanny, right? Which right now, wouldn't you think, well, that's pretty weird. And I did, but how they explain it is, Tory, you wouldn't want to talk to those evil people. They are so stimulative. And you have to remember, the higher up you go, you're paying all the time for correction. Anytime these BTs and clusters get upset, you got to pay for it, right? Whether real or imagined, you got to pay for it. So, and it's $7,000 every 12 and a half hours of auditing. So it can add up, right? So after a while, you're like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to know about it. Don't tell me, all right? So he takes off the net and he says, I want you to surf around the internet and see if there's any what they call knots, which is one of their top level. It's OT5, New Era for Dianetics for OTs. See if there's any knots material on it. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I know nothing about the internet. So I type it in, and up comes this site, Operation Clambake, right? And it's got Xenu.net. Remember, Xenu is like 50 grand just to hear the word. It's a top secret word. You can never say it. I mean, one time in an apartment, I went into somebody's apartment, my girlfriend's, and I said BT, and she wrote a knowledge report on me. I had to go to ethics. I was put in treason. I had to work out of it. You know, don't ever say that word anywhere. I said, we're in a bathroom with nobody else. You know, doesn't matter. You can't say that word. You're not allowed to say that word ever. Ever. Okay, so it's heavy-duty stuff. So anyway, now I forgot where I was. See, I told you every once in a while it happens. Thank you. Okay, so Xenu.net comes up, and I'm like, oh, my God. And I call up OSA, and I go, like, why don't you get rid of this guy? And they said, we're working on it. We're working on it. So that was my first introduction to Xenu.net. But to me, it was all these, you know, Paulette Cooper and all these horrible things that I thought should never be on the internet. No one should ever read about them. They're all the dark side of Scientology, right? They're actually all the facts about Scientology that Scientology doesn't want anybody to know. But I was too afraid to read them because one of my friends had gone insane in Scientology. And my best friend, Bill Yachty, had said, well, she went insane because she was reading the internet. And I believed him because you kind of had this unconditional belief in these people. And I thought, he's not going to lie to me. So I believed him. So I thought, I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it? It's like that you would literally do that. I saw her shake her head. But I believed him. I believed him unconditionally. And so I thought, okay. When I got out, I found out they had drugged her and reverse audited her until she went insane. Because she was one of their secret plants, that she had been planted places. And so then when she started waking up, they drugged her and reverse audited her to hurt her so that she would never talk again. It's just unbelievable, that side of them, isn't it? It's just pathetic. But they're heavy duty. They are. They've done stuff to me. Mark knows. When I left, I called. I said, I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to picket. I'm not going to make videos. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just leaving. But here I am today, right? And that's because of all this stuff they did to me. I finally started saying, hey, you're going to do it to me, I'm going to do it to you. And that's what happens. But anyway, Xenu.net comes up. My friend says, this is out of control. That we really need to, we need to handle this. So we're going to start sending you around to open up phony accounts. Now, I don't know anything about the internet, and I say, that sounds kind of weird. And he's like, nah, trust me. Like the Lions, right? Believe in me, right? So I do, and I have to sign this thing saying I'll pay $100,000 if I ever tell anybody. So I can't tell my husband, I can't tell auditors, ethics officers, the executives, nobody knows, right? Just this one skinny guy named Gavino, who was like this Italian guy. And growing up in Chicago, I'd kind of been around the mafia a bit. Not personally, but a bunch of the mafia lived in Lake Forest. So I'd been around them, and I kind of knew their routine. And the more I would be out opening these, and they wouldn't tell me what they were doing with the phony accounts, right? They just said, no, you don't, we're not going to get into that, okay? Because you don't want to know. And I said, well, I do want to know. And they said, well, here's the thing. They're really evil people, and they'll put you in deposition for months. Now, do you want to be in deposition for months? And I'd be like, no. And it's okay, so we just won't tell you. And then you don't know. You can say, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. So I thought, okay, that's fair. So I'm out opening phony accounts, but finally, they start acting so mafia-like, I think something's really weird here. So I go on the internet. I decide I got to go look. So I type in the internet. I bring up their news group, Alt Religion Scientology, which I'd seen my friend Bill posting on for years. And here they are, tons of recipes on how to cook cakes. And in between them, every 5 or 7 lines is somebody going, I didn't say that. Scientology is changing my words. And I realized, oh my God, they're stopping free speech with this. And for me, I don't know why, that was it. I just couldn't do that. And so I call up Bill and I say, Bill, I can't do this anymore. And he goes, okay, no problem. You know, come on over tonight. We're having a meeting, and we just want you to tell us what happened. So I walk into this apartment. I'm still pretty innocent, although I have been doing some waking up, like I told you, but I'm still with them. I walk into this apartment. It's all men at the top of the bridge. It's very dark. And all of a sudden the door slams open. Gavino comes walking. I told you about her. I told you. I told you not to trust her. And I said, you told them what about me? And they just go, I told you. And they just start ragging on me. And what were you going to say? And I'm like, what is this? And they just turn on me, like just unbelievable. And my auditor, my best friend, Bill Yachty, turns on me. And I take it for a while, and then I just burst out crying. And that was really when I left Scientology. It took me another 6 months. I finally, how I actually got out, but I mean, that was a big jar for me.